Welcome to Rewire Yourself Rich, the podcast for the woman who's done with temporary bullshit mindset shifts and ready for a full nervous system level identity upgrade. The woman who knows she was born to transform the world with her unique superpowers. I'm your host, Kelly Pender, wealth identity rewiring expert, intuitive mentor, and creator of the Rich Coded Method. In our world, we don't manifest like needy ass bitches. We re-encode the big fucking deal wealthy woman back into yourselves. We shift your DNA to remember who the fuck you are. Ready to become rich coded, getting paid to exist? Let's fucking go.
How would you love to double or triple your prices with conviction and have clients and your previous clients sign with zero hesitation? That's exactly what Chelsea did by installing the value codes and burning the rich rules, which is what we will be diving into today. I'm going to invite Chelsea on here in a second. I see her on here. I'm going to have her join. And Chelsea is the founder of the Emotional Archeologist, and she guides women to alchemize their pain into their purpose, to become the courageously expressed woman. And Chelsea is going to share with us how she knew that she was undercharging. She was undercharging for 2 years, and the internal shifts that she did to allow this to happen, to really finally double her prices. And so I'm gonna have Chelsea come on here. I wanted to really focus on how so many of us see and are told, just raise your prices. Just raise your prices. That's all you need to do, is just raise your prices. And we find so much resistance in that because we're not giving ourselves permission to raise our prices because we aren't yet seeing our value. And when you're not bought into you, others aren't bought into you. So that is what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to bring Chelsea on right now. Here she is.
There we go. Hi.
Coming on to share with us how she doubled her prices and signed clients and previous clients with zero hesitation. And I really invite you to share with us the internal shifts that you made to allow this to happen after knowing that you were undercharging for 2 years.
Yeah, that was so intimidating because at that point there's a relationship with that client and you're like, okay, well, if I double my prices it's weird, right? Like obviously they wouldn't because they've loved working with me, but there's that rule of they're going to say no. They're going to say, fuck you. There's no way I'm going to pay you that. And even though you have that relationship with them. And so I got so in my head about that for so long that I just kept undercutting myself.
Yeah.
I just kept going, this is okay. I'll just override it. I know them and I know this much about their story and it would be hard for them to start over. And the biggest shift internally that led to me being like, okay, I'm going to do it, was really realizing that by not honoring myself, I was abandoning myself. So really that client wasn't getting the best version of me that I could show up as because I wasn't honoring my energy, my gifts, my knowledge, the way that I would prepare for a call, my nervous system. I wasn't honoring all of that. So how could I really show up in the best expression of that? I think that would be the best way to describe that.
Yes. I love this. And I know that in your body of work, you teach other women how to stop abandoning themselves. And you are the true living, breathing embodiment of your work because you yourself went through that, right? In different aspects. And actually, because it's never just business, it's never just money. You did that in all areas of your life. And I'd love to hear from you more on that because there's so many of us women who know that they're meant for more. They know that they're meant to make a greater impact and to make even more money, but we stop ourselves because we're following someone else's rules, which I want to dive in with you then, because I know that you were doing that in your business. And then B, we're not valuing ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear that from you, how you began to stop abandoning yourself and you really truly saw your value for what it was. And not just saw it, but you felt your value and began to embody that and lead from those value codes that you installed.
That's so, yeah, like where do I start with that? For one, abandoning myself for so long. Like, I think I'm really fortunate to have realized this pretty early on. I know there's some people, some women in their life that are, you know, now in their 30s, 40s that are realizing like, holy shit, where did my life go? And I wasn't living it the way that I wanted it to. For me, I was fortunate to realize that from a young age, but it took feeling the full weight of that abandonment, right? Like every time I wouldn't say what I thought, every time I wouldn't admit to people that I liked writing poetry, every time I wouldn't tell people how excited I was to coach and teach online, like all of that was little cuts to that wound of like, yeah, Chelsea, you have to stay segmented. You have to stay compartmentalized to be who you are. So when I could really let myself feel all that pain and also like the ownership of no one else did that but me. Like I was the only one who snuffed out my flame, you know? When I could feel that weight, then I started to, that's really when I put this all together, that pain was the catalyst to this purpose, to this growth. Because if I wasn't willing to feel that, I wasn't really willing to extract the wisdom and bring that through to teach to other women. There was a second part of that I wanted to speak to, but that kind of got me off track.
That's okay. We'll circle back to that. And that ownership is everything, right? And I know that comes from us being told, like, shh, don't say that. You're going to sound conceited. Shh, tone it down. You're too much. You're coming off as full of yourself. And so when it comes to us as women really embodying and taking ownership of our work and then sharing that online and leading online, what I've noticed is we tend to be a very different version of ourselves online than who we are in person, right? We're taking ownership in person. We're like, we're fucking amazing. We're incredible. We're the vibe. But when it comes to online, we are showing up as a filtered, censored version of ourselves. Right. And I love how you said, I really started to take ownership of my body of work and really share it from a place of not only conviction, but excitement. And from this place of, I choose me. I choose this body of work. I own my God-given gifts and I'm the courageously expressed woman.
Yeah.
Right. And what was that pivotal moment when you were like, I'm not taking full ownership of my body of work and of my leadership?
The truth is there's a lot of like micro moments that definitely happened inside of the membership. But I joined it at a time where I was questioning my value, where I was questioning my worth. And I was like, okay, maybe this is the thing that's going to reflect back to me the work I need right now, right? Or I was like, this is going to be the thing that ultimately solidifies my confidence in myself. And I can definitely say you mirrored that back to me a lot because I'd experienced this really high and then coming down this really low. And that's when I had found your program and I was like, all of this is aligning with exactly where I'm at. And I'm trying to think if there's like one moment where I was like, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I don't know if there was one specific moment, but in the little micro moments that led to that, you mirrored back to me like, Chelsea, you're actively choosing not to see how fucking awesome and brilliant you are. That's really what it was. You're like, Chelsea, I see you could do this and you could do this. And how about this thing over here? And my focus was so narrow because I was in that survival identity. I wasn't actively owning my gifts. So you mirroring that back to me is what really fueled the choice to see that the work I'm doing is impactful, right? Like I was ignoring like this whole body of evidence because I wanted to believe in my suffering more.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love how you say that because it's so true. We can choose, I mean, I say all the time, we can choose to focus on lack, or we can
Mm-hmm.
choose to focus on everything that we've already built and created and where we're going. And just like you said, it's like, well, I can choose to focus on my suffering, or I can choose to focus on my value and my impact. And
Mm-hmm.
that was so beautifully and well said, because any given moment is a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of discomfort that comes with making that choice, right? And I think a lot of
Mhm.
us stay away from it because we don't really want to look in that mirror and be like, yeah, there's literally no one else to blame but yourself. And you can easily get stuck in that trap of blame. So that's where I like to say, okay, this is ownership, right? I'm not going to
Mhm.
stay here and why did you do this and why didn't you do this for so long and you kept yourself, stuck in this dynamic for too long.
Yeah.
So rather, if I'm taking ownership, I can say, yeah, I was the only one that made that choice. And that's freeing.
Yes, it is so freeing when you
Mhm.
see your value, when you choose to see yourself, and when you lead from there, right? And you know that because
Mhm.
I saw you in real time, seeing your value, seeing your worth, taking ownership. And
Mhm.
I remember when you said you were like, "This is the most excited I felt in my business for such a long time." I'm like, "Yes,"
Yeah.
because you're leading your way.
Hmm. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a huge moment.
And you gave me that permission to let go of the things that were feeling heavy, right? Because I
Mhm.
think we also believe we have to hang on to what's worked. That's what it was. You were talking about like taking other people's rules. So I was hanging on to doing things a very specific and certain way, and that wasn't working anymore, but I didn't want to admit that didn't align with who I was. And I'd made that choice in the past to do that, and that was out of alignment. So I wouldn't want to admit to myself now that that was out of alignment back there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I watched you because I can see what rules we're following. I can feel where we're making things. And when I say we, I mean you are making things harder for yourself. And I'm like, you're following a rule. You're like, what do you mean? No, I'm not. This is how
Mm-hmm.
I want to run my business and structure. And I'm like, do you though? Do you
Mm-hmm.
actually enjoy this? Is this actually fun for you? And I remember you being like, no, I actually don't like this at all. I don't enjoy running my business this way at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
want to hear about that because that was a huge ritual that you burned and you rewrote and truly restructured your entire business
Mm-hmm.
your way and not her way.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I think it can be a really slippery slope when you're starting to own your gift and your brilliance and come into that purpose to do it. It's so funny. I just had this conversation, so this is really aligned. Um, one of my clients was just telling me, I gave her a suggestion about some content I would love for her to make because it's kind of edgy for her. And she said, okay, I posted it here, but now I'm getting ready to post it to Instagram and I'm frozen.
Mm.
I don't want to do it. I can't do it. And so I started to kind of poke and ask what that was about. And she was like, well, I can't stop seeing her doing it this way and like getting into that comparison trap. And I said, the only reason that you're comparing your work to hers is because you've already seen her post it and get validation or praise, or it was safe for her to be seen in that. So it's safer to take her route than it is your route. You have to carve yours out and you can't know if you're going to be safe.
Hmm.
And then when I heard myself say that to her, I was like, oh my God, that was what I did in my business for so long. I did it everyone else's way because it did work for them. And that was a way to secure safety or some kind of certainty. But it wasn't really ever me. It wasn't really ever my choice. So I was just like taking on all these other different roles and again, abandoning myself because I didn't trust my way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? When you came into Rich Coded, you were already going viral. You were having
Mm-hmm.
like massive viral posts. And here's the
Yeah.
thing that's so important is that when we're creating content for validation of the this needs to go viral. I need the likes. I need the comments. It's like you are already having that. And I need everyone to know, just because you go viral, it's not going to make you feel even more valuable or valued if you're not valuing yourself. It will not. It does not.
No. And oh my God. I don't think that I wanted that, but some part of me must have manifested that. It actually made all of my shit come to a head so much faster. Like, that video went viral. I wanted to quit my business. I wanted to hide under a rock. I wanted to never be seen again. I was like, all right, this is it. I'm going to burn everything. Because then I could really see that, one, I wasn't ready for that kind of exposure. Like, there were a lot of fundamental things that were shaken by that kind of visibility. But two, now looking back at that video, it wasn't even like super in alignment with what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'm like, man, maybe I should delete that video. I should just pretend like that thing never happened. But it's such a beautiful lesson for me to learn from, that the things that are meaningful to me may never go viral, but I'm posting them because they're meaningful to me and they make my business my business. Mm-hmm.
And that's what matters. It's meaningful to me. It makes my business my business. And I know that it's going to impact the lives of those who it's meant for.
Yeah, exactly. If that's one person, that's one person.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That is everything. So I've witnessed you install your value codes. I've witnessed you double your prices. I've witnessed you show up. Because again, when you came into Rich Coded, you were already going viral, but I could sense that you were like hiding. And it was almost like shrinking, right? Mm-hmm. Filtering yourself, censoring yourself. And I've seen you just completely restructure your business. I've seen you lead as you, like giving yourself full permission to speak as you, lead as you, create as you. And I've seen you just rise as a leader in such a beautiful way. And I love that so much. And it's so exciting because now you're speaking as our featured speaker on the Rich Coded Live stage, April 25th in Philadelphia. And I'm just so proud and so excited for you and just honored to share this and have you take the stage. And I'd love you to share with all of us what you will be leading and activating the women at Rich Coded Live through.
Yeah. And first I just got to say, like, had it not been for the experiences I had in your program, I don't know that I would have taken the opportunity to speak. I really don't. But because of all of the little micro wins, like those micro moments that sometimes kind of get lost if we don't pin them down and we're like, that's where the transformation happened. If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for you mirroring it back to me, I really think I would have been like, oh, that's cool, but not for me, you know? So that, even just taking the opportunity to speak, that just shows how much I've risen into that leadership and like owned it. But yeah, I'm going to speak about how we can start to use the pain and those limitations, because I know the women in your audience, I know the women in my audience, they have something so, there's like not even a word for it. There's something so big on their heart that they want to give back to this world. There's a way that they want to liberate women or activate women or bring women together. And I know that gets to be so much more powerful when it's used in tandem with their pain.
Yes.
Because they've known what that deficit feels like. They know that whole experience inside and out, and they can teach from a really unique perspective versus somebody who's kind of already at the mountaintop or was like maybe halfway there, right? So I want to teach them, how can we own that pain with compassion and use it to propel us all the way into that purpose, into that deep, meaningful, soul-aligned purpose.
Yes. I can't even wait, because this is just incredible. I've been led through you in your nervous system regulation exercises to alchemize the pain into purpose. So I've witnessed your magic. I've witnessed your medicine. I've witnessed your leadership. And this is just everything to have you speaking on stage. And again, I'm so fucking proud of you because yeah, like you're making those big, bold moves that we could have easily said, oh, I want to speak on stage. It's on my vision board, but I'll do it in 5 years when I'm ready.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I have my best friend, she's gonna be there. She's like been advocating for me to speak on stage probably before I started my business. And she is so thrilled. And I told her, you know, I've like put her off for years. I'll do it eventually. I'll do it eventually. And yeah, I still come in shock that I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're taking the action from your next level identity. And it's like, you are her. It's here.
Yeah.
It's happening. You're now a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And you're leading women to become the courageously expressed woman, alchemizing their pain into their purpose and really showcasing their brilliance. Oh, I'm so excited. And I know that you have a special bonus this week only that expires January 31st. So everyone who's watching or listens to the replay and listens to this on the pod, you can DM Chelsea to access her bonus. And what is your special bonus that you have for those who buy their ticket through you?
Yes. So I am going to be doing a purpose playlist. So this is 5 tracks that are going to recalibrate your nervous system to hold your purpose, right? Because it's already within you, but it's about having that nervous system that's going to contain it and also help it flourish. So I'm so excited. It's literally like pulling in this new identity and embodying it in pieces. And then I'm also going to have a purpose mapping session. So you're going to get a one-on-one session with me where we map out that purpose. Maybe you already know what it is, but we're going to really bring into actuality the structure, right? Like I really want you to be able to live it here before you're living it here, because that's going to signal to your body that it's safe. And also we're going to see all this stickiness that comes up around that, right? So like, okay, you may say that you want to have $1 million business and you want to speak on stages and you want to do XYZ, but your nervous system is going to reveal a totally different story when you start talking about it, right? Like I'm going to see shoulders raise. I'm going to see, you get smaller in your seat, or maybe you kind of hide. So I'm going to be able to pull all those things forward so that we can start structuring sessions around that so that purpose gets to be lived. Yeah. So purpose playlist, purpose mapping.
Incredible. That is amazing. So DM Chelsea to access that bonus, exclusive bonus this week only when you buy your Rich Coded Live ticket through her. I cannot wait to have you take this stage. And for those who are feeling the pull, Rich Coded Live, April 25th in Philadelphia, is for the woman who knows she's meant to be famous for her body of work and sell her 5-figure fame offers on repeat through identity. You already have all the strategy. It's time to lead with a different identity that we're going to install and encode at Rich Coded Live. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for being here with us. Yeah. I cannot wait to have you take the stage.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to be in the room.
Yes. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Either DM us the word ticket or slide into Chelsea's DMs and access her exclusive bonus this week only before the 31st. I love you all. Have a beautiful day. Bye.
If you loved this episode as much as I did, please take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram so I can share you and your incredible body of work to my network and celebrate you. And as a special abundance gift, please give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Take a screenshot, send it to me on Instagram, and I'll send you my sexy sales hypnosis to rewire yourself rich in your sleep.